Welcome to Hunt Alberta Talks with Bonnie and Charlie tonight. Our subject tonight is Halloween. We asked for some questions about how Halloween pertains to the paranormal, and we got a few replies. We decided to do this because we couldn't do the Halloween party this year, and a lot of people are reaching out to us saying they miss the paranormal pub nights and they miss having a chance to ask us questions. So we figured we would do these episodes and answer some questions.
From home.
We really wish we could have done the Halloween party this year, but let's hope for next year. Let's hope everything's better. So the first question, I'm going to pull up here our questions. The first question was from Tiana W. I'm actually going to hand the questions to Charlotte.
So the first question is from Tiana W. Do you experience increased activity at Halloween?
Yes and no. I think we don't really experience more activity at Halloween. I think people notice it more at Halloween. Partly. And I say partly because there are other factors.
Yeah. I think the reason it happens now is
everybody suddenly is more indoors. This year doesn't really apply to that, but suddenly it's colder out, we're more indoors, we're paying more attention, and it's a spooky time of year, so people are suddenly paying attention to that sort of thing and almost looking for it. And there's all the movies, the television shows, and we're bombarded constantly with images of ghosts and the paranormal and that around Halloween, so we're thinking about it. So yes, we're going to notice it more. Having said that, there is enough folklore out there to say that this time of year there are changes that would lead to an increased amount of activity. That's probably the best answer.
So the next question is, why is Halloween considered a time to talk to the dead? That was from Barb M.
And I think that one kind of same subject as the first one, but I think again it's a cultural thing, and many cultures for some reason, and maybe again it's because there is a thing about this time of year that makes it easier to talk to the dead, that many cultures have developed holidays or traditions around it, like Day of the Dead in Mexico, where it's considered traditional to go and make time with your ancestors at that point. And they're not the only place. There's places all over the world, and they seem to do it around this time of year. So
I have a feeling it's to do with the weather. I know in a lot of places, like, it's something to do with the end of the crops.
Well, yeah.
And, it's a time of death. The trees are dying, the leaves are dying. So then that's when they say that the veil is thinner than,
yes.
So maybe it's why it's that time of year, but I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it because, like you said, that's the time of year where we're focused on that sort of thing? Mm-hmm. Is it because we're about to go into the long winter and our minds turn into that? Yeah. There's a whole lot of reasons why it could be.
Longer nights. Yeah.
But I think that's the answer there. Is it's culturally more acceptable to talk to the dead around this time of year, therefore people do. They make allowances for it. I don't think that there's any specific thing around Halloween that says that. Halloween is a very North American thing that is more zeroed around reclaiming the night, having a chance for kids to go out and explore the spooky world and all that. And it's kind of, especially nowadays, devoid of any cultural traditions above and beyond the ghoulish costumes and, the parties and the candy and all that. And it's two different holidays now. There's the kids version, and then there's the grown-up version, which we won't get into here. But they're so diversely different, the viewpoints.
And neither of them are what it was originally.
Exactly. And neither one of them really, outside of people doing events like ours or seances or things like that or ghost walks, neither of them are really even slightly close to the original traditions that sparked Halloween, right? So it's nowhere near the talking to ancestors or looking forward to the year ahead, or some traditions are that this is the new year, so it's more of a New Year's celebration. It's looking at past events, it's looking forward to new events, it's about bringing in the crops. Others, like Day of the Dead, it's about talking to our ancestors. So we've become so far away from that.
Yeah, but it's hard to pinpoint why we started to do it in the first place.
So it's no wonder people are asking, why do we talk to ghosts at Halloween?
Yeah,
well, because that's why Halloween exists.
Yeah.
It's because we used to talk to our dead or our ancestors for advice or just in remembrance at this time of year. And is that paranormal? I don't know. Because there's a difference between sitting quietly and respectively considering and remembering your ancestors, or even speaking out loud to them at a gravesite,
as opposed to
actively bringing out equipment and EMF detectors and all that, and actively trying to document or engage with a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
They're completely separate things.
Yeah.
We try to combine them when we do Halloween events, and I think we've been somewhat successful at some locations with that, but it's not an easy thing to do.
And at least in our experience, like, I haven't noticed a huge correlation in increased activity around Halloween, other than a few nights. Yeah. But that could have just been a good night, right?
And it's harder for you, I'm sure, because since you've been brought into the paranormal investigating, it's been in this setting of doing events.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of events around Halloween, so of course you're experiencing more around Halloween. What do you think, Geronimo?
I need murder.
Anyways, that was a little cameo by Geronimo. So yeah, you tend to do more ghost hunting around Halloween. So yes, you're experiencing more around Halloween, but it's only situational, right? In my 30 years of doing it, I have noticed, both as being a psychic and doing the paranormal investigating, that people are more in tune or more aware of it around this time of year.
Maybe more willing, or
whether it's cultural or bombarded by the media, or if there's actually this thinning of the veil, which I think is our last question.
I think it is.
I think our last question has something to do with that. So
the third question is from James L. What is the thinning of the veil?
So, and that is what people refer to as the thinning of the veil. Is at this time of year it gets easier to see the other side. So wherever the souls go when they pass, whether it's heaven or whatever people's beliefs are, for some reason at this time of year people believe that it's easier to pierce the veil, it's easier to see the other side. I can't disagree with that in like my practice, but it's not just this time of year. I see it both in spring and at fall, around the equinox, not necessarily in Halloween, but around the equinox times, it tends to be that for some reason there's an increased occurrence of people seeing dead relatives or having visitations in their homes. Again, whether it's because at those times of years we're specifically looking at for some reason, I don't know. But I do know, especially as being a psychic, I get increased calls of people believing that they're cursed or their loved ones are coming around, or that sort of thing around that time of year, or wanting to come to me to talk through me to their ancestors. And our paranormal cases definitely increase in the spring and the fall. Again, like I said, it could be argued that in the spring it's because we come out of a long winter and we're bored and we start cleaning our house and we start thinking and we start paying attention, so it's, I guess our answer is that's a really a personal question, and it's a lot to do with beliefs. This is the first time we're doing this, so and now another cameo. This is Sammy.
Hi, buddy. What's going on? Oh my goodness.
We're trying to film baby. Thank you.
Good boy.
So we're hoping that we will do more of these episodes of Talk with Ghost Hunt Alberta throughout the winter, and we're welcome to your suggestions of subject matter. And we will always put it up on the page when we're going to be doing this and giving an opportunity for people to send in questions. We'd love to do this live. It's just not logistically possible given our technology.
We want to just start with this, see how it goes, and see how you guys feel about it, and then we'll go from there.
Exactly. And we're hoping in the future to get some guests to join us. Right now with COVID, that's kind of difficult to do. But I'm already talking to other people in the community about ghost stories and maybe some of the owners of the locations that we do, and having a chance to talk to these people and giving people an insight into what it's like to live in a haunted location, and what it's like having Ghost Hunt Alberta come in and play with your ghosts and then leave, whether that's good or bad or whatnot. So again, we're open to your suggestions, and we hope you guys enjoyed this, and we appreciate all feedback. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Tiana.
Tiana, you know why she's saying thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And, and things like that, or having Kathy on. And